welcome to Day 1 Patch episode 170. I'm your host, Ryan Johnson. Oh, you remember the theme song, right?
Yeah.
I'll try to line it up for you.
No, that's not going to work. Yeah.
That's the part that leads into my my intro there.
Did you know there's lyrics?
No, are you serious?
Would you like to hear them?
Kind of.
No, I'm not going to. There aren't lyrics.
Damn it.
That's Marty Isaacs.
Hello.
Matt Lawrence.
What's going on?
Adriano slipped and broke his hip, and then
I stabbed him.
And then he got an infection from the stab. They didn't kill him yet. The infection, he was fighting off for days. And then the antibiotics, they just didn't work, and so he's gone. It's horrible. Horrible.
I like how we couldn't just leave it at he fell down and then I stabbed him. It's like he fell down and got hurt, but then I stabbed him, and then he got an infection.
Well, what's horrible is he fell down, and you went to help him, and Adriano was like, "Oh, a friend, come to help me," and then you just stabbed him. It was horrible. It was really horrible. Anyway, some of our top stories, more E3 news, since E3 is fast approaching. We also have, I find this fascinating, players can buy games on Twitch. So if you're watching the game, you can, boom, buy it. It's just that easy. We have a new study about what teenagers think about certain brands.
I thought you were just going to leave it at that.
Yeah,
Teenagers think.
What do teenagers think, yeah. But no, this is about what brands they think are cool. So we'll get an insight into teenagers.
That was a weird way to say teenagers.
Teenagers.
Is it hyphenated?
And also the big news of the week was the Xbox Project Scorpio tech specs were revealed, and we'll talk about those. Is it the most powerful console ever? Yes. Just yes.
As advertised.
Yeah. Okay.
Does it matter? Maybe not.
Not really, I guess. I've
Maybe.
always felt if you're an Xbox guy, you're just gonna buy an Xbox.
Yeah.
If you're a PlayStation guy, you're gonna buy a PlayStation.
Yeah.
The lines are drawn. There's a few who will cross over from generation to generation.
Or just get both.
Or both, yeah. We're going to start off with what's new. Marty, what's new?
I've been playing a lot of Overwatch. I've been trying to play Drawn to Death.
Right.
It's a little bumpy. It's not as smooth as I would like it to be because it's a cool idea. I don't know. It's all right.
You like the idea?
I like the idea.
You like the drawn art?
Yeah, I think that could be really neat. I don't think they went as far as they could with it, maybe. I don't know. I'm just getting into the game now, so maybe it'll open up a bit. But
I think everything's a little too white. Now, I know when you draw on like a notepad, the backgrounds are going to be white.
Yeah.
But it just looks very colorless to me, which I'm not a big fan of.
Everything's a little muddy, which kind of sucks because it's got a lot of personality to it.
Right.
And it just kind of like gets muddled and gross looking.
Like you were showing the skins off of the characters.
Yeah.
And they look cool, but you couldn't really define certain parts of it.
Yeah.
Because it was like sketch drawn.
It's too crude. Yeah.
Well, it goes to their style. They did a good job going for what they wanted.
Yeah.
And the menu is a little weird.
Yeah, I don't like the menu.
It's hard to read what's actually on the menu. And then I was sitting there for a while just watching the classroom. And then it looped, and I'm like, I need to do something here. I thought there was going to be like a whole video, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a little weird. And then the tutorial, I don't know if I want to spoil this or not, but
I went through the tutorial.
There's a part where with the controller. You remember that part?
Yeah.
I felt real dumb.
You fell for that?
No, I didn't fall for it, but I thought logically, okay, they left me waiting just long enough.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay, maybe I need to plug in my headset or something. You know, and I just said it to rule out whether I needed to actually say it or not.
I think I got you.
And the second time, I'm like, okay, no, this is just bullshit.
Yeah.
But I handled it in a logical manner, I think. I ruled it out. That's all I'm saying. Matt, what's new?
I don't know what the hell I've been playing this week. Not a whole lot.
Well, this is the what's new segment. It doesn't have to be games. You could be doing something else.
I don't know what I've been doing this
Trying
week.
to upgrade your internet?
Oh, yeah. The journey of internet
hell.
purchasing in Canada is, it is that. It is a journey in which you're trying to fight for deals and offer things, and people are calling you, and it's just like, I get to a point where I'm like, I will pay you more money for the duration I have this internet if you please just let me purchase this.
I loved your first conversations with Bell, where you were saying like, I want to give you more money. I'm willing to give you more money. But they're like, no, we need it to be packaged in this way.
Yeah, and I was like it comes to a point where I'm like, if you like if you make me jump through a hoop, I'm done. Mm-hmm. And big companies are more than willing to just say like, well, I guess you're not going to pay me then. I'm like, well, I guess that's it then.
Right.
I've never understood a company that doesn't want money.
It's a little strange sometimes.
Like I'll briefly explain the situation. So like I called up the number just to get a quote, and like I'm not on the account because my dad owns it, right? And I was just trying to like add internet because he has home phone, and they're like, no, you can't bundle the two together. And I'm like, what? They're like, you gotta open a new account, and then you gotta wait 3 months, and then you gotta get out that other account and bundle them. But they're like, but it won't be a bundle price unless you buy a TV. But my dad likes the satellite company he's with, which I don't blame him. So I'm like, because he has every channel. So I was like, I don't want that, right? And then they're like, okay, but that's all we can do. So then I called their store, like a physical store, and they're like, no, we don't have to do that. And they had like a whole different thing where they're like, we can bundle it. That's fine. But then it was more money, and I was like, well, I don't want to do this, so I'm done.
I wonder if they're trying to push the TV, since a lot of cable and satellite subscribers are dropping it in Canada.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I wonder if they're trying to push it and saying, well, we need you to get the satellite package or the cable package. You know.
Well, the thing is like, and these are promo prices, and they change all the time. But if I remember correctly, I was offered all three, which is unlimited internet as well, 25 meg down speed with, I think it's just the basic cable package and the home phone for $110 a month. But if I just wanted internet and phone, it was $160 a month or something like that, which I kind of find to be ridiculous. Like I'm using a lesser service, like one less service,
right?
Which that makes like I'm just kind of like that drives your point home. You know what I mean? So,
Marty, you can probably get you got a job now. You can probably get your 10 megabits at your house if you wanted.
I don't know. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I think I don't want to have good internet. If that makes any sense.
Does it?
I'll play Overwatch too much.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It can be harmful if you get too fast internet and then you're just on the internet downloading everything.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hop into the stories for this week. EA, they're not part of E3 anymore, but they have their own conference around the same week as E3. This year it is going to be June 10th to 12th. So it's a big extravaganza for EA. But what we can expect from their presentation, I guess, or even if you are attending EA Play, Star Wars Battlefront 2 will be playable, apparently.
Playable?
Yeah. So I didn't think that was going to happen, because it's still about a year away. They'll probably release holiday, right? Well, that's less than a year, but
it'd be like what I would assume it should be an alpha now. So
by June, I guess it's pretty close, right?
Yeah.
We'll be getting a trailer for it on the 14th, I believe,
of
Battlefront 2.
No, of what month?
This month, April.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, and EA says it's going to be their biggest trailer they've ever produced.
I want to know what that
sounds
means.
Like Trump.
So, yeah.
It's going to be huge.
EA made the Old Republic trailers. You remember those?
Yeah.
Those were pretty big trailers.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna imagine this is on that level, but then taking it one step further somehow.
I wonder how they can I wonder if the trailer is going to like drive sales, if it's going to be like a CGI trailer, but then the game, like I'm going to assume it's a story trailer, and then the game is just going to be like a standard shooter with like some voiceovers.
Yeah. Now what's fascinating is this game, they said, is going to be taking more place in the Force Awakens timeline, or time period rather. And so, are we going to be seeing story content? There's not a lot of actual story around the new movies, you know. Even the books and stuff. There's not too much.
Is it canon though?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The other game was not canon, right? The first Battlefront.
Well, there's no story to Battlefront. They said every battle can't be canon. Obviously,
well,
it's an online match, you know. And even the guns they said weren't canon. They're all just made up.
Or even the characters that show up.
Yeah, it was just a game. That's all it was.
That's all it was supposed to be.
So I'm pretty excited to see what we're gonna get from Battlefront 2. Need for Speed. They skipped a year, right? Was that this year that they skipped? Last year, I guess?
Yes, I think.
It's hard to tell when you don't care.
Does anyone care about Need for Speed?
I want to know what happened to Need for Speed.
Like you have your big guys, you have your Forza, and you have your Gran Turismo whenever that game launches.
Yeah.
Racing games have seemed to have gone away, and Need for Speed's like trying to hang on, I feel.
Especially a street racing game, that's pretty old.
Yeah. So we'll see that. I don't know what they could be possibly doing with that. I hope their time off with that has yielded better results for them. And then sports games, which is just, I mean, all power to the people who love the sports games. You know, I'm glad you have something you love, but I find it the most boring part of the presentation of at EA.
Yeah, it's a bit like drawn on. And to be honest, how many of the people that play sports games really tune into E3?
They might just, they'll probably just watch the trailers afterwards, right?
I don't even think they do that. They just wait for the release date. I find that like the people who only play sports games really don't care. Because like they only play sports games, so they know when it comes out and they know it's just going to be a better game. Like they're not. I don't know.
Well, I was talking to you about this. Now I know that EA Play is not part of E3, but E3 was traditionally for the press and investors.
Yeah.
And so they would show off their sports stuff because there's people who covered the sports games at E3 too. You know, so anyway.
Yeah.
June 10th, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern for their conference, I believe. That's on a Saturday.
So who's left at E3?
Microsoft, Sony, Ubisoft. Nintendo is part of E3.
They're not,
but they don't have a stage conference anymore.
No.
Or a theater conference, which I miss, kind of. I don't think I've watched a single Nintendo Direct from E3.
No.
I think I watched.
Oh,
Yeah, we've watched
Bethesda.
it before. Bethesda?
they have their conference now.
yeah, Bethesda's there. Yeah.
Even that feels a little disconnected, isn't it? Like a day early.
It's on the Sunday, but
it's on Sunday.
Microsoft's now on the Sunday.
Okay.
And EA is on the Saturday. Right? Am I reading that right?
So is it just Sony now? Sony and Ubisoft on the Monday?
Maybe, yeah.
That was boring. It's gonna be a short E3.
It's gonna be a weird E3. I always got used to just like it was the Monday, right?
Yeah. Monday, Tuesday.
It's weird. Anyway, I think they're trying to find their relevance. You know what I mean?
Well, I wonder if they're seeing numbers fall off. Like I wonder if there's too many conferences in the day, they see like everyone just like their viewership is sort of spread out.
Well, I just feel like there's so many conferences throughout the year, and all over the place. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And Sony has their own PSX. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they have their own specialized thing. It's a lot more focused. You know, E3 seems like it's kind of just the thing that they have to do now. It doesn't seem like they really enjoy it.
I don't think people tune in as much either. I think they'd rather
Probably not.
like wait a day or two and then see like their favorite YouTuber just cover all the stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, next we have players can now buy games on Twitch. So when you're watching someone play a game and you say, "I like this," you can then buy it instantly.
That's
Must be nice to have nice internet.
So you can download it real quick and start
Yeah,
playing.
while you're streaming it as well.
what's kind of cool though is like stuff like that would probably it's probably going to drive a hell of a lot of sales.
You're right, but it just seems like everything's so commercialized. Do you know what I mean? Not only are you going to see like ads on Twitch,
Yeah.
and then you're going to see like stuff telling you to buy stuff, then they're going to say, "Hey, buy this game you're watching." It's a nice feature to have available. I just think it's getting kind of nuts. Next, YouTube will be doing this.
Is it just going to be the game you're watching too, or is it going to be like maybe you should buy this game if you're interested in this?
I hope it's just the game, but I can imagine like YouTube doing that if you're watching like a movie trailer and buy tickets now. Click.
I don't mind stuff like that. Like I've never really minded at like
It's not that big of a deal. I just find it a little.
well because you're
reward.
going there for gaming content. So it's like if I'm watching somebody do something and I'm like, wow, that was awesome, I'm going to buy this. It's kind of annoying to like go look if this place has it on sale and go check this and check that. This is just sort of like you click, you're done.
If it wasn't related to gaming, it'd be a little worse. If it was like buy Febreze fabric softener.
Yeah, that's bad.
You know? Yeah. Okay. So not only does the streamer get a percentage, they get 5% of the sale, and the rest 70% goes to the developer. So then I guess Twitch takes their cut as well,
That's
which
all
would be
right,
like 25%.
That's not bad.
I don't know. That's taking a big cut.
That's what do
That's
you
like,
mean?
it's-
Well, it depends on how much the cut like Sony would take or something, right?
And you have to think too is like the developer. The developer is the person that made the game. Like
Well, I think they mean publisher in this case.
the streamer gets a percentage of the
yeah, like
the
I'm
game sale?
surprised that they even get that.
Yeah, that it should just be
Because
nothing.
because they're selling it for them. Because a lot of people go to Twitch to look at people play to see if they like the game.
Yeah.
So they're technically a free advertisement. This was that whole YouTube thing with Nintendo, and people were like, "Hey, they're selling your games for you," and then
Yeah.
when they took away the advertising money. So that's essentially what Let's Players and streamers are kind of doing.
They must really think it's going to work then.
And this is going to let them see it, because if they're like splitting it up, then they're seeing like the exact numbers as to how many Twitch sales did we get. Mm-hmm. Would that be interesting?
So Twitch currently has 50 PC titles available. In-game content is also available for sale. Anything at least $4.99 or higher gets you a Twitch crate for your account. These crates contain badges, emotes, and other accessories.
For what?
For Twitch?
It's probably for like your Twitch chat, right, and stuff like that.
Ooh, I don't like that at
We're
all.
like the
getting
emotes
loot
and
crates
stuff.
for everything now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
They're fun, aren't they?
They're drawn to death.
How great is it to open a box and not know what's inside of it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
There you go.
But we've like I don't know if corporizing it makes sense, but like we've put like the corporate spin on it, where it's like, oh man, these things are worth, like, even the battle packs or whatever from Battlefield are like worth like what, $2 or whatever it is.
They got those they can be like the physical like loot boxes at the expos now.
Yep.
They got the Star Wars one. Adrian was trying to get me to buy one of those.
There's the loot crate.
The problem is, like, a lot of it is garbage. Like, I don't. First of all,
It's stuff they can't sell.
yeah. First of all, they put, like, throw like a pop figure in there. I don't want the pop figures. I don't really like the pop figures.
What if they were Overwatch pop figures?
I like accurate looking statues. I don't
Some
want
pop
these.
figures are awesome though. Some pop figures are pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, some I've seen that's really cool, but they're just not the quality I want.
No.
Like, I put that on my shelf next to my other accurate looking things. It's just like that doesn't go there. You know?
Yeah. Some things do translate to like that like cutesy look. They're pretty good though.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if they're already cutesy looking, and it's just not that big of a difference.
Yeah, then it's basically just accurate at that point.
Next on our list, we have, what are teenagers thinking? Marty, what are they thinking?
They're thinking, oh crap.
All crap.
Probably. That's
Yeah,
probably most of
yeah.
what's going through their brain, yeah. So a study was commissioned by Google and has found that teenagers find Xbox the cooler brand over PlayStation and Nintendo. They're a little bit further down the list. It's a difference from millennials, which is our generation. Millennials believe, millennials is defined as 18 to 25 in this survey. They believe that Sony is a cooler brand than Microsoft. How do you guys feel about that?
In terms of coolness, they're pretty much the same.
I don't find Sony that cool. You know what I mean?
Does Sony have like they literally have it, but do they have like a big brand? Like in terms of like almost like a social presence? I find that you know, like Phil Spencer,
Well, they have-
Major Nelson, all that is like they like buff and like push the Xbox brand.
They have the PlayStation blog. That's pretty popular. And then they have the PlayStation blogcast. That's also popular. But other than that, like, they don't really have like videos of like on-screen presenters who, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Xbox seems more official.
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't tried their new UI, but like, you know, their like UI was a bit clunky, but I know there was like a whole bunch of goodies in there. Like there was like a, not like a daily fix, but I think it was like the weekly thing from Major Nelson. And
I remember when the Wii came out, they had the channels and stuff, and you could watch there, and they had like people talking about games and stuff. That was really cool, I thought.
on what?
On the Wii.
I don't remember
There
that
was a
at all.
section you can go, and this was like pre-Wii TV. It was just like a thing you can click on. Do you remember this, Marty?
Sorta.
And they had like different TV stations
Yeah.
that were all like Nintendo-based content of some sort.
This is what I mean.
And they had on-camera personalities talking and stuff, and it was really enjoyable. And I kind of wish like Sony did more of that stuff.
I don't like how it's like hidden in these like weird menus and stuff.
That's the problem. They don't really seem to push it to the front of their marketing.
Like even getting like, you know, a popular executive to
Right.
to like tweet out, be like, hey, there's a new episode of this, go check it out. Like people would go check it out. You know what I mean? Like that's enough, I think.
Sony did a couple things. They tried. Do you remember what was it called? The Testers.
I remember the name. I don't. Was that reality show?
It was the reality show.
That was
kind
unbelievably
of
bad.
Big Brother-ish, where they all live in one house, and then they all like do games to try to be the best tester. They did that for the three seasons, I think it was.
Jesus.
I watched every episode.
No.
Most recently, they had Will
come
Wheaton.
on.
They had Will Wheaton interview Bungie about Destiny, and that was a series that was on the PlayStation Store. You could download the or stream the video. I watched those. That was cool content, I thought. But they just stop. Like they do it once and they stop. You know,
Is that
strange.
exclusive to whatever's their services, or is that on YouTube somewhere?
I only saw it on the PlayStation
That's a problem.
video store.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch that.
I'm not going to go searching that out yet.
No. Okay, so, but you all don't think Sony's cooler than Xbox. You said this is the same, right?
I think Xbox is better.
I can see why people maybe would think Xbox is cooler.
I think their brand is stronger.
That's what I mean. I'm confused by their definition of cool. You know what I mean?
I think that makes us uncool.
I think that PlayStation's just riding on the fact that they sort of won the launch war.
Are they talking more popular? Because I would say the PlayStation's more popular. I have freaking 20 people online at any given time. I wake up at 9 a.m. and go on, and there's 12 people playing. You know what I mean?
I think older folk might be buying PS4s. Teenagers might be an Xbox thing.
Has it switched back? Is it reverse? Because when we were teenagers, Xbox was the big brand.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe Xbox has always appealed to that age group. It's just it's constantly however they're doing their marketing, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, according to the report, this is now they described the non-millennials, the younger generation, 13 to 17. They thought Xbox was the fourth coolest brand in the world. PlayStation was down in seventh. Top of the list was, coincidentally, Google's YouTube service is the coolest brand
That is cool.
in the world, apparently.
I don't know what that means.
This study was published by Google,
Oh.
and YouTube is the most popular brand, apparently.
Oh.
Did they conduct this survey on YouTube?
Although the kids, the kids do like the YouTube though. They watch it more than TV. You know.
You know what I don't like out of YouTube. And this is a little bit off topic, but I don't. There's quality content on there. Don't get me wrong, but even a bad show on TV, like a bad reality show, feels different than a really good YouTube show. I'm not saying I'm going to enjoy the content of that bad reality show.
I know exactly.
But there's
what you're
a different production. I don't even know if it's quality or a production type or something.
I know exactly what you're talking about. 'Cause it's my big problem with YouTube as well is that there's no television quality productions. It all feels like we're making this as an online show, you know?
Yes, yeah.
And they build a set in their apartment in San Francisco. Do you know what I mean? And that's where they film.
And all their,
and you can tell for some reason you can just feel that it's tiny production.
And the like a lot of the tech channels, I watch them because I'm into tech. But when someone's like, "Oh, you should really check out this other tech channel. I really like it." And it's just another guy talking in front of another guy talking in front of a camera. He has his computer in the background. All of his desks are white. His background's white. He has a plant in the background.
I swear they all film in the same goddamn house.
That's what I mean. And then they have LED lighting around the desk, and that's generally it.
Yeah.
And that's a blanket statement. Not everyone's like that, but you know what I mean. It's sort of the same. And getting into liking a certain YouTuber, a certain gamer or something like that. I can't. Because I don't care about their jokes and stuff.
I think we're a little too old. I think that's the problem.
I think you guys just need to find better YouTubers.
But I don't know what I want to see. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what I want to see.
You just got to get lucky. Just somebody sends you something and oh, I like that guy. I'll watch all his videos now.
Ironically, I prefer watching clips from Colbert on YouTube
than watching his show.
Than watching on TV.
Yeah.
So I get the TV quality stuff that Matt's looking for. But on YouTube, I watch it on YouTube. Those are I prefer those type of productions.
I think the appeal of YouTube is just the niche. You can find really specific channels. I think that's what it's about for me.
Yeah.
I think I would prefer to see. I'd prefer to see YouTube, like I've only seen one YouTube Red show. It was that one from. I think it's CGP Grey or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Mind Freak, is there something? What's it called? It's not Mind Freak. That's Chris Angel. That's something else. What's it called?
There's something like that though.
It's but anyway, I only watched the first episode of it. And I liked that. That was like TV.
Because that was you were getting subscription based content, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to see a little bit of that. But I mean, then again, that costs a bunch. So.
Yeah. We were talking about this on Wednesday. How about half the world watches YouTube for their content.
Yeah.
Or not half the world, but like like people watch like 50% YouTube, 50% old-fashioned TV, right? And so I'm wondering when the FCC is going to have to step in, or the equivalent divisions within different countries are going to have to step in and start regulating what people see on YouTube.
I think that the instant regulation kicks in a strong way, like it is on TV. I think you'll see YouTube fall,
Or something new will start.
because I think that the appeal of YouTube, or what's keeping YouTube afloat, and I could be wrong, is the influx of just constant content. Because I I only subscribe to a few channels and like really like pay attention to those channels, and I really only like out of the ones I'm subscribed to, I like stick to 3 or 4 that I watch like a lot of their stuff. I think that, but a lot of people would be actually like watching, they might be subscribed to 50 channels and watch all of it constantly and watch random stuff too. I could see that. I don't know the numbers, but like, so I think that if they start regulating it where it's like, you have to have closed captioning for this, you have to have, credits, you have to have this, you have to have title cards that are this long. I think you're just going to see
the shows would have to be rated too.
Yeah, you're just
ratings for shows.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, is like right now,
And swearing's a big deal too.
You could shoot a video like in this basement. We could take a quick like panoramic shot of this room, but like make it a video, and just like post it right now, and in like 10 minutes or whatever, it's going to be up there, and that's it. Like if it's FCC where it's like, oh, we have to go through this approval and this and that, I think YouTube's going to die.
I don't think it's going to die, because otherwise TV would have died.
But
it will take a hit for sure, I think, but it won't die.
But like YouTube gaming, for example, like how is the FCC going to handle you constantly just showing footage from someone else's content? Like you're
Right.
gonna have that whole thing again where, because like I forget.
Well,
I'm
not saying we have to use the same laws that are applying to TV.
But I think that's what they'll do.
Like YouTube's a whole different medium, so they'll have to create laws that are specific to that medium.
But but FCC and those are older organizations, and they'll just be like, oh, you're watching it, okay, that you now abide by TV laws, and then there'll be a big conflict and all this crap.
Yeah, it's the natural progression of things, though. It's going to happen at some
Just
point.
shut it down, and then I'm done.
I'd say once like 70% of what people watch is only YouTube, they're going to have to do something.
I don't think they need to.
Not about they need to, they will do something.
I don't know why they want to.
It's the government, they regulate stuff.
But why? Why do they care about like something like YouTube?
Why do they care about regulating TV?
I don't know. Well, TV.
Well, a
I
lot
think
of it is to protect, like the swearing and stuff is just to protect the home, and like in Canada, I think after 10, you can start using a little more heavier language and showing some more like violent things.
Yeah.
So they'll have to do stuff like that, I guess. I don't know how you do that with on-demand content.
Well, that's the thing. They'll have to have somebody like
And then
regulate it.
YouTube Red will be completely different. So if you're paying for something, you can freaking HBO, goddamn nudity every goddamn show they have. You know what I mean? So,
well, this is the thing is like the appeal of the internet is it's so instant. Like, and the thing that I don't understand is even like we're at such a high amount of people like looking at YouTube now. It doesn't really make sense to me that they're making. Like right now, you could easily access content that has like really violent scenes. There's swearing and everything else, and even our shows have swearing and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it's like there are people out there that do much like the show is like vulgar by design. You know what I mean? There's a lot of swearing intentionally,
right.
and stuff like that. And you could easily access that, and there's millions of views on that type of stuff. Like why wouldn't they step in now? Is my question. Like it just seems weird that they just don't seem to. You know what I mean? Like
I think it's still perceived as something you can just do by yourself.
But you can do the same thing on something like Facebook. Like if you're live streaming from Facebook, live streaming from Periscope.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Sending snaps, like it doesn't make sense. Like if they want to regulate everything, they're going to have a regulatory body where it's like upload, yes, okay, will be checked by FCC and be uploaded in 7 to 10 business days, pending some other bullshit.
Well, we're in a really weird time period where everything used to have to require a lot of money and a lot of talent and a lot of equipment to do. So for making music, you just need you need engineers, you need a freaking recording studio, you need all these cables and wires and mics and crap. TV and movie productions, you need cameras, you need massive amounts of crew, massive amounts of money. You know what I mean? But now we're at that stage where people can do everything. You buy you can use your freaking iPhone camera
Really, yeah.
and shoot a YouTube series.
And it'd be decent quality. Actually.
People are recording musicians on their laptops. You know what I mean? So we're at this time where people can do anything they want, and there's no like, oh, here's a handful of broadcasters. We can control them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, freaking millions of people can now just do whatever they want. How do you control that? So maybe you're right. Maybe they won't do anything with YouTube because it would be impossible to control.
It's too much. Like it's literally too much content. TV content has to go through so many steps where it's like they can deal with it.
I don't want to see it become where only professionals are uploading to it.
If the FTC or is it FCC or FTC? FCC. If the FCC and I guess the CRTC here, right?
Yeah.
If they start regulating it, I don't think that's what I mean. I think it'll collapse. It'll have to collapse. I think. Or YouTube will just be like YouTube Red. That's it. Like and you know what I mean. It will just YouTube Red will go away, and YouTube will be a subscription service.
YouTube will be fine. It always goes through its shitty phases where people are like swearing that they're going to switch to something.
Oh,
like
they're all looking for
service.
some new service.
Yeah. Twitch has that too.
What is another service?
Vimeo.
Daily Motion.
Man, is that still around?
I don't know. But it is weird that more people use YouTube than anything else. They really have no competitor. They have nothing to worry about. You know?
I can't even think of a competitor from back in the day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like as if they killed somebody. I don't know of another competitor on that scale.
I remember a long time ago there was this website called Stupid Videos. You remember that?
Yeah.
That I felt like it was like a pre-YouTube kind of deal, but it was strictly Stupid Videos.
I remember Stupid Videos. Yeah.
Yeah. They're gone now. I think just because everyone just does YouTube now. But YouTube's what the kids like. So how about that?
Bastards.
Here's some of the popular video game series from the teenagers aged 13 to 17. Legend of Zelda, still big with the kids apparently. Call of Duty Black Ops. Black Ops in particular, I guess, for some reason. Grand Theft Auto, of course. Pokemon, still kicking it, eh? Minecraft, of course. And Counter-Strike, Global Offensive.
What the hell?
These kids are...
Counter-Strike makes sense.
These kids are the kids.
Any of the big PC gamers probably play Counter-Strike.
Mm-hmm. Also, Nintendo is seen to be less cool than Xbox and PlayStation among both millennial and teenagers.
Oh.
EA Sports is even further behind. And apparently VR and AR are seen as the coolest things in the world of technology.
I don't like this word cool being used so much.
Along with smartphones and iOS in particular.
What really does it mean? Like, I need a
coolest thing in the world, eh?
What's the metric of cool?
If I asked you right now, what are the coolest brands you know of? Can you list them for me?
No, I don't.
But everyone's
definition
of cool is different. That's what I mean. Cool could mean like, oh, I see it all the time, and it's like the biggest thing.
Well, I wonder how they did this survey. Did they list these brands in order from coolest to not coolest?
But the definition of cool is different to other people.
No, but that's the point of a survey. Is you get everyone's opinion, you average it, and then you find out what
is cool.
What is cool.
But other surveys
not necessarily average, but you see who voted on what the most.
But other surveys have like a distinct like, you know, which video game series is most violent? Like most violent or like the funniest or whatever, you know, is but it's just a clear metric. This is like a nothing question.
But it's just your personal opinion. So if I asked you, who's cooler, Nintendo or Sony?
Sony.
You there you go. You write that on your survey, and then Marty would have a different answer. I'd have a different answer, and then we'd see which.
No,
one
but
was
we're
most
not
popular.
thinking in the same way though.
Sony's not cool.
That's not what the survey is about.
No, but if we're answering an opinion question based on like a question that has the same definition for everyone, that's different.
That doesn't matter.
That should matter.
It doesn't.
Because it's all like we're answering. It's essentially like we're answering. I mean, and who knows how they did the actual survey, but like if the question was straight up, who's the coolest? I might think that that's the most popular. You might think that like the more I don't know, rich you are, the cooler you are. You might think that the more like less popular you are, the cooler you are. You know what I mean? Like the least subscribers or something. You know what I mean? Like that's the difference.
No,
so
but
like
they're just taking that on face value.
Okay.
They don't care like
it's a
what
bad survey.
I don't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, not necessarily. They want to know, in everyone's opinions, regardless of how they think of their opinion, what is the coolest brand? The only thing they're trying to get out of the humans here is what they think is the coolest.
CS:GO is
Not-
a weird one.
Yeah, but it's super popular.
Yeah,
though.
CS:GO is big. Yeah.
Super popular. Is it super cool?
I don't even know. I don't think most brands are cool. They're just brands to me.
I'm trying to think of a cool brand.
What's that beer you drink? You have the
Bose.
shirts. There you go.
Bose is pretty cool.
There you go.
Because they're small.
Yeah, and they're kind of local.
Because Budweiser ain't cool.
No, it's not cool.
Mm-mm.
It's also not very good tasting. That's it. Just Bose.
And like, what's a cool game? I'm like, I don't know. It's not really cool.
I like all my Bethesda games.
I think if it has to be a cool game, it has to be above.
I think their definition.
I don't know.
I think their definition for cool in this case is what do you like best. I think that's what they're going for.
Okay.
Maybe they should have wrote that down. And maybe they did. Maybe they did in the actual question.
Maybe they're extrapolating or putting this on the kids that they said this was their favorite game, so it must be cool because kids only like cool stuff. You know what I mean? It's one of those old man surveys. You know, that's what I think it is. All right, we solved it.
Because we're old men.
Okay, the big news for this week: Xbox Project Scorpio tech specs were revealed a couple days ago. They were revealed to Digital Foundry by Microsoft, and I'll just list what's happening here. The CPU, 8 custom x86 cores. That good, man?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
The GPU has 6 teraflops of computing power. We all know
This is a really fucking powerful console.
we all know what teraflops is. The RAM,
Use them every day.
the RAM, 12 gigabytes of GDDR5.
That's too many D's in there.
GDDR5 RAM, 12 gigabytes. That's more than the PS4 Pro,
Yep.
which still has 8. And definitely more than the Xbox One S, which had GDDR3 and now it has 8. So this is a lot better for RAM. Memory bandwidth, 326 gigabits per second. Vapor chamber cooling. Can you tell us about that, Matt? What does that mean?
That's just like how they're cooling the components.
But what does vapor chamber mean?
I can't remember exactly what it was. I can't remember if it's like.
Is there like a gas in there?
I looked it up for school at some point, and it was like some sort of thing with like heat pipes where like condensation gets cooled or something. I can't remember. I might be wrong totally. I might be spewing some
Sounds
BS.
kind of scary.
Yeah, it does.
I'm going to breathe it in and die.
Or what if it breaks?
No, it's nothing like that. Like it's not dangerous in any.
If this console needs some like super like good cooling, and that breaks, your house is gonna catch on fire, right?
No. It's not like it's not like it's like it has like a proper heat sink and stuff, and it'll get cooled that way.
We can only hope. 1 terabyte hard drive, not solid state. Traditional.
That's fine.
Spinning
For a
disc.
console, that's fine.
And then I believe the power supply is built in. Thank God.
I never cared about that. I don't know why people freak out about that. You put it like beside the plug, and that's the end of
Yeah,
it.
but it's just big and ugly and annoying, and sometimes buzzes too. Goddamn thing.
Well, it's changing power over, like it's converting power around.
So yeah, this is a pretty powerful console.
I was surprised. I mentioned to a buddy that I was surprised it only had 12 gigs of RAM, but he made a good point in saying that this thing isn't like it's not a PC. It only.
What were you thinking? It was like 16?
I was thinking 16 minimum.
But that's probably going to raise the price quite a bit.
Well, and the fact that it's only for gaming. He made a good point.
Although
It's
12
not
is a
like-
bit odd, isn't it?
What's that?
12 is a little odd.
Well, it kind of makes sense if you think about it, because it's like if you have a Windows PC running, and let's say you wanted to do something like have a Twitch stream and like play a game at the same time. You're going to be using a bunch of RAM for that, depending on the game. So I think the main thing in this case is the fact that you're not going to be doing that on this. You're going to be like either just watching a stream or just playing a game.
Right.
So you don't need that extra like quote unquote Windows RAM, if you will.
So what I'm excited about is this thing will be able to run 4K gaming at 60 frames.
Yeah, Forza.
That is incredible.
There you go.
Now, Forza is first-party title, which they can fine-tune for the console.
Yes.
So they generally run and look better than most third-party games. But to get 4K 60 is fantastic.
And I think Phil Spencer before had already stated that it'll do it, and they're showing it, but they want to make sure that like games in general run well, whether it is at 4K or 1080 or whatever it is.
And what's nice about this console is apparently it will, no matter what, you can put it like a game that's not dated for it, It'll run it better. You can put in a backwards compatible 360 game in it, and it will run it better.
Cool.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Now, Sony has the boost mode thing. It doesn't always work. They must have designed their system differently. You know what I mean? I imagine whatever Xbox is doing, it's more kind of PC structured, where the games can like take advantage of whatever's kind of there. Right?
I find that like Sony is like, they're not as bad as Nintendo with this type of stuff, but Sony is always like, they're almost there, and then it's just like, man, this thing like runs at 60 FPS and blah blah blah, but that only happens on these two games. It's like, well, wait a second here.
What's funny is too, they're a computer manufacturer.
God
You
damn
know,
it.
isn't that's the funniest thing? You know,
This
Microsoft
is-
software company makes a better console than a computer company does.
well, I mean, they're also a hardware company now too. Microsoft with the Surface.
But this is Surface, a completely different thing than actual. This is basically a computer essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the Surface is a computer too.
no, but it's a portable laptop essentially.
Yeah,
But this thing's more of like a gaming PC almost. It sounds like.
I kind of wish it did run actual Windows 10. To be honest,
I don't think it
what
will.
are you doing over there?
Sorry.
Marty? Just constantly banging things
Sorry.
together.
No, because I was talking to you about this. What's the reason of buying an Xbox Scorpio
Yeah,
if you want Windows on it? Why not just buy a Windows computer?
because it's like a quick and dirty way to get like an all-in-one system that like is just like, it's a no nonsense. You don't have to build it. It's just like a closed-in console done. Like, you know, like you can buy like pre-built PCs from Corsair and Asus, I think, and stuff like that.
Technically, your Xbox One is running Windows 10. It's running
Some sort of form of it or something like that.
Yeah, when they made everything uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing too. Is like Sony again. Like we saw it with the PS3 with like I don't know whether that was specs or whatever it was, but with the Bethesda game Skyrim, where Skyrim had a problem. I remember like a Sony guy had to like show up. I think it was,
They had to send engineers over. Yeah.
and it's just like it's like Bethesda isn't great in my opinion at optimizing things, but that still shouldn't have happened.
right.
You know what I mean? Like some
They
lag
weren't-
or whatever.
They weren't having
fine,
issue on Xbox.
that's the thing.
The issue was on the Sony.
They're messing up, I think. And you got to think too is with Microsoft's like knowledge of making sure their software is compatible with hardware, that probably lends themselves to be a better manufacturer.
Do you think the Scorpio will lesser the lead that Sony has right now over sales?
I don't know who the Scorpio is for.
Yeah, how do you market this thing?
Well, Phil Spencer said that it's for professional gamers.
Then no.
He said he wants to make sure that it's clear that the Xbox One S will still be their main selling console for the average gamer, the average family. You know, that's that they're expecting to sell more of those consoles, and they want the Pro console to be for pro players.
My issue with them doing that is that consoles traditionally have been you buy your Xbox, you buy your PlayStation, whatever generation it's at, and that's it. And then there's iterative things that are usually like, oh, this one's slimmer, but it's the same. Mm-hmm. So it's like you don't really upgrade unless like you just want to, which is rare from my experience.
Right.
Or yours breaks or wears down or whatever, and you just go buy a new one, and then you end up getting the slim. Like, you know what I mean? But like at this point, if I needed to go buy an Xbox, I don't know if there's a reason to wait for the Scorpio. That's my issue. It's like on PC, it's very clear cut. You have more specs. You can render things faster or like play games better or whatever. But with a console, if everything's supposed to be super smooth, and that's another question too. Is because this thing's so powerful, can a dev say this is a Scorpio only game?
I don't think that's the case.
I don't think.
But
I think that they from a technical standpoint, I think they could.
No, you're right. They could, but I think wasn't there like a leaked document from Microsoft? It's either Microsoft or Sony, but it said that you can't create a Scorpio only game.
I never saw that, but
I remember something like that.
I could see that being like a policy, like a dev policy.
Because this is not a new console generation again. This is the PS4 Pro thing. All games will have to be played on both Xbox One S and Scorpio.
Would it be that much better even if it just came out on Scorpio? Would the difference be noticeable?
If it was made for Scorpio and used like 90% of the Scorpio's power, it would be different a lot.
Here's the thing, though. I have a PS4 Pro, right? I don't see what it looks like on a normal PS4.
Yeah.
It technically makes no difference to me because I have no reference point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have nothing to gauge how much better it is looking.
Well, this is the thing where I was talking about before, where it's like at this point in time, like really the sort of like the jump from last gen to this gen, at least the end of last gen to like this gen now, wasn't that big. It's like it was good and now it's better. It wasn't like PS2 to PS3 where it was like it was okay and now it's really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's not that large jump. So the issue, that's an issue I think when trying to sell something where it's like, well, this one gets more FPS. Be like, yeah, but I can still play this fine. Why the hell? You know what I mean? Like, there's no. It's not like, man, this game's stuttering. I really need to upgrade this thing.
Right.
And that's a problem again too. Though is we saw like the phase out of like 360 games, like was it GTA Online, for example. Eventually, the updates stopped coming for that. I wonder if it's going to be one of those jobs again, where I don't know if it's where like an update's going to come out for the Scorpio and it's going to be like this has like not only like graphical features, it's going to have like game features only available on Scorpio. But the game still runs on Xbox One, but you're not going to get these features.
I wonder if this increases development time for developers too. Because now they have a PlayStation version they have to make, and they can either optimize it for PS4 Pro or not. They have a PC version, which can be optimized for all sorts of different things. They have an Xbox version that can be on the Xbox One S or a Scorpio. It's getting a little intense.
Well, see, they said they're not pushing the Scorpio as much as the S. So if the numbers aren't there, are devs even going to bother putting in Scorpio support?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a really good
Especially
question.
since the game's going to run better regardless. They don't even have to do anything.
I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. Like, would Microsoft like pay developers? here's development money for the Scorpio version. I don't know how that works.
I mean, maybe the first party titles would be like, I don't know whether they'd be forced or whatever, but they may be, kind of told to. You have to like have a 4K experience. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know if we've even gotten PS4 Pro numbers. We have PS4 numbers.
Like in terms of how many games,
How many
support
units? How many units sold of just the PS4?
I think the main issue is that like you've upgraded your TV,
Right.
like you have a 4K TV down here, and I can see the difference between like my TV and your TV for sure, but when you upgraded from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 4 Pro, I don't see a difference.
It's not huge.
And to be honest, we've seen more problems where like we've had to enable boost mode because like, well, specifically with Evil Within, it was like choppy and stuff, and it just sort of seems like I don't know whether there's more cases like that. But it's like,
I forget who
really?
did it. There was. I think I sent the video to the chat, but they were talking about. They tested a bunch of games. Most games, it's very minimal how much the boost mode actually does. Where games were getting like 24 frames per second, it gets it up to 30. And that's about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't do anything graphically more impressive. It just makes the game run a little smoother. Because it can't add better graphics where there are no better graphics.
That's
you know
the
what I
thing.
mean? Yeah.
I think what we're going to end up seeing is and console manufacturers aren't getting it like down pat yet. They don't have like a formula, but I wouldn't be surprised if, we won't see another formal generation jump. I think eventually you'll see Xbox become Xbox again, like just Xbox. And then like PlayStation will just become just PlayStation. And then like the software, like PlayStation software, whether it be, your ported PS4 games or whatever, but it'll be like PS4 onward will work. Because that whole thing where it's like backwards compatibility is backwards, but it's like software is like
it'll be like the smartphone market. You buy all your games, it is attached to your account. If you buy a new handheld system or smartphone, the games all work on it, and they run a little better.
Yeah.
And then developers can take advantage of that new one. And then just over time, it slowly rolls along, as everyone just keeps upgrading slowly and just keeps doing it.
The thing that I worry about, though, is when somebody buys something for the home, you're not seeing like for as an example, my parents bought like a DVD a VHS player years ago.
Yeah.
And they still have DVDs, so when they go put a DVD in that thing, like they don't have the idea to be like, this thing's old, let's upgrade it because it still works. You know what I mean? So like I think that you're going to see that a lot where it's like you buy your PS4 and before it would be like PlayStation 5, and they may still do that, right? We're just assuming. But like if there is no clear cut upgrade and the kid's going to be like, oh, I need a new PlayStation, the parent's going to go out and be like, I just need something that plays games. They're going to buy the lowest of that gen and it could get phased out. Whereas a phone, you're constantly upgrading because of your contract.
Not necessarily though, but like a lot of people upgrade their phones because they start running slower. They can't run the newest apps.
Yeah,
or apps has new features or something that people want. So I can see that happening. It's like, oh, I've been playing my PlayStation for like 4 years now, right? but it can't play the latest games that well. Do you know what I mean? And so they'll go out and buy the new PlayStation, and then bring it home, and then be able to play again.
I think on an individual, like, you know, like adult level, I think that's okay. Like, whereas if we were like, you as an adult would be like, I don't like this, I'm going to go buy it. But I think the console is sort of like a problem when parents are not going to understand how to do it. And a lot of consoles are really bought by parents for kids.
Right.
And there's not going to, like, even that whole Wii U debacle where they didn't understand if it was a Wii or just a tablet thing or what it was.
If you remember, the console generations used to be like six years or so.
Yeah.
The PlayStation and PS3 and Xbox 360 was a little bit longer, you know.
Yeah.
But I can see people waiting 4 years. That's not that far off from 6. Do you know what I mean? And upgrading.
No, it's not. But the issue is like I think a prime example would be an iPad. If a parent goes to buy an iPad right now, iPads are just sort of called, you know, iPad Pro, and then is there even like, are they called something different now? They're Air or anything?
iPad
now?
Air, yeah.
So they still do have the name. Mm-hmm. But for a while there, I think they didn't have a name, right? They just had iPad or something.
It was iPad 2,
Yeah.
the new iPad. That's one me and Marty have.
Okay.
The new iPad. And then it was the iPad. And I think it was another iPad.
See, no, I think the Air came out.
Okay, iPad Air 2, and now currently they have the iPad Air.
See, like stuff like that though is going to confuse people. Like Apple does okay because they label it, you know, Air 2. There's another Air there, but you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
like if it was just like iPad, and it was like the 2017 or whatever, they're not going to formally name it, you know, iPad 2017, iPad whatever. Same with the PlayStation.
But people just know they're buying the newest one when they go to the store.
That's the thing. But like I think a lot of the time parents are going to look it up, probably used even sometimes. They're going to be like, I need a PlayStation. You know what I mean?
But if you're strapped for cash, people like Apple products are expensive.
Yeah.
So if people really want an Apple product, they go to the used market or the refurbished, and they buy an older model.
But they understand which one's out now because it's like iPhone 7, and then they want, okay, I'll get a 6. That's so far back.
No, you're right. But what I'm saying is they're willing to suffer a lack of performance simply to have that product because they want it. You know what I mean?
But usually your back is not that bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like people will set a milestone in their head. Whereas if we start seeing consoles that are just like slowly phasing out, like I want to know whether my Xbox One, the original one, is going to be like slowly phased out now. In 3 years, is that thing going to be basically like tuck this in the garbage?
It might be. Yeah.
It might be. You know what I mean? But that's not going to be clear cut. Someone who wants to buy an Xbox One for their kid for the latest game is going to be like, oh, just buy this. This is the cheapest one. It's not clear cut.
Isn't even the Xbox One S a little more efficient than yours?
I think a little bit, but it has like the 4K Blu-ray player, so I don't know whether that's why.
And it also doesn't have the Kinect stuff. So remember how yours like 10% of the CPU was like directed to just running the Kinect?
That's gone now, right, or something?
Well, what happened was I think it was always locked off for the Kinect, even if you had it unplugged.
Right.
And I think they freed that up if it's unplugged.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And they got like a few more rows of pixels onto their game.
Jesus Christ.
So in layman's terms, the Scorpio CPU is 30% faster than a Xbox One equivalent. GPU is 4.6 times more powerful. And its RAM and hard drive read speeds are also improved, meaning 4K resolutions should be easily achieved and maintained. In a stress test version of Forza 6, which I guess they ran, they got 4K at 60 frames per second, using around 60 to 70% of its full power. That's pretty impressive. And the regular Xbox One runs the game at 1080p 60 frames, 90% of its power. So this thing's a beast.
Oh, yeah.
Not to the PC guys. They probably think this is, yesterday's news. But for console gaming, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like they clearly state it's for the console, but pretty good.
You know, it's funny that I remember when this generation of consoles was just coming out, and everyone was saying that that it was like impossible to make them run 4K at a price that was reasonable.
Back then it was. Absolutely back then.
But it's only been like 3 years, and the PS4 Pro came out, and my PS4 Pro can run 4K. Scorpio can run 4K.
Yeah, but 4K...
but they were saying it was impossible.
But 4K was new back then.
And
like 4K, the actual resolution was new.
And the graphics cards were like super expensive.
And the TVs were like $7,000.
The TVs came down fast.
That's
Holy
what
crap.
I mean. That's what I mean. Someone develops something that goes faster, or in like a processor or whatever, and then everything comes down.
Yeah. Real quick, what would you pay for a Scorpio? What's your limit?
What's an X-Bone go for? The S?
US, I think it's like 300.
I'd say 5 is fair price for this thing.
5 is the most you can go, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they go 6, they get into that PS3 territory where everyone's like, "Hey!"
That was bad. That was real bad.
$750 in Canada for some of them.
Yeah,
That set them back pretty much the entire generation.
yeah. And they didn't catch up until the last year. Didn't West he got like a day one console, didn't he?
Yep.
And he paid like a buttload, like $800, I think.
Yep. My 20 gig console was $750.
20 gigs.
That's sad.
Man, 10 cents for that now.
It's dead, yeah. Broke.
Oh yeah, that was the one, right?
Yeah, it broke, and then I got it fixed, and it broke again.
That slim model PS3 is still a gorgeous machine.
And I have that now.
Not the second slim, but the first slim. That's a nice looking machine.
That's okay, yeah.
The Matt one?
Yeah,
The Matt Lawrence one?
Matt Lawrence one.
Yeah.
but the George Foreman original PS4 or
ridiculous.
PS3, sorry, amazing console.
I always forget how friggin' huge they are.
And they're heavy, too.
It's incredible. All right, that's it. That's all we got. We're also on the YouTube. We've got some Let's Plays and reviews and stuff up there. You can check out youtube.com/DayOnePatchPodcast. And subscribe on iTunes. Give us a like and rating. Leave a review. That's what all the kids say on the YouTubes now, right?
Leave a like and leave a review.
Like and subscribe.
Oh.
And the episodes are going on YouTube now.
And doing better than our Let's Plays, which I'm happy to see.
Are they?
Nice.
Yeah, our Let's Plays get about 3 views, which is usually just me. And then...
Wait, how can it be you? Isn't it only count you once?
No.
What?
No. If I go to edit it and I'm like watching it, like just to write the description of the show on YouTube.
I thought they were only counted at once.
No,
100%.
it counts
Damn
full
it.
time. But the podcast got like 12.
There you go.
So, big increase for us, but small in YouTube comparison. So we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
That's 4 times as much.
That's right, Marty.
Yeah.
Bye.
I do the math here.